Hello and welcome back to my neck of the woods. I'm Morning Day U, and today we start Metroid 2, Return of Samus. So, there's no fanfare to welcome us in like the first game, nor is there any story if we sit on the start screen long enough. So let's just hop right into the game. Now this is actually recording attempt 2. Yeah, I completed an entire playthrough and recorded it of the first game. Not the first, well I did do that. I recorded this entire game once and didn't really do much. The biggest problem was the video was awful. Just as a general, kind of creator troubles. And, well, the audio was non-existent, except for my voice. And I think nobody wants to listen to my voice for an entire 4 hours. Yep, 4 hours of recording down the drain. Now I have to redo it. Hey, that's fine. I get to fix some of the problems I saw. So, entering our ship, we have an energy recharge station to the right, and a missile recharge station. Well, sorry. Switch that around. Missile recharge on the right, energy recharge on the left. This is the first introduction of recharge stations in the entirety of the Metroid game. So that's nice. And starting off, we have a few power-ups from the get-go. We have a long beam, morph ball, a full energy tank, not a separate energy tank, just full health. And 30 whole missiles. Wow, they geared us up well. And rightly they should. After the events of Metroid 1, Samus is tasked with a genocide mission. We're to destroy the entire Metroid population. And we gotta get through multiple enemies like Yumbos, Hornodes, and I'll say as many as I can for names. So, going to the right, we have a dead end, so we go down. And it seems impassable if you've only played Metroid 1, but yeah, this is the game where we first get the ability to shoot down. And Samus can now crouch, so her range of fire is greatly increased. Right there we had some Samuris and another Hornode, which poses some issues to me. Mostly the Samuris cause me some problems with where they're placed. Unlike the Zoomers of the first game, Samuris and similar enemies like it won't be stunned if you destroy the block they were just traveling across. Oh, and I accidentally stood where a block was respawning. Yeah, much like the first game, you take damage for that. So, we can head left or right. Heading to the right here, we get a save station. And saves are instantaneous. So that's really nice. Continuing further to the right, we have a room filled with death fluid and this Searock. Searocks are like Yumbo, but just different sprites. They don't take any more hits, and they do about the same amount of damage, I think. Never really paid attention to how much damage I take from enemies. Really should, but anyway, going all the way over here, we see a giant puddle of death fluid. Yeah, we aren't going this way anytime soon. Now, the more astute viewers, or anybody who's already bored of watching me stumble through Metroid 2, will have noticed the lower right corner has a tiny Metroid icon, and the number 39. That shows how many Metroids are currently alive on the planet's surface. Now, if we press pause, yeah, the Metroid icon as well as the music change. The music's completely gone, and the Metroid icon turns to an L, and the number has now changed to a 1. So that tells us how many low-bearing Metroid there are. Yep, who knew? Metroids were the core to the stabilization of the planet. Wanted to say stability and stabilize. So we gotta find ourselves a Metroid to defeat so that we can progress. Yeah, defeating a Metroid, specifically low-bearing Metroids, will net us progress through the death fluid. We have some more Yumbos and Samuris. And then we have an interesting development. Yeah, we have weird slowdown liquid. That's not water, as water appears later in the game and doesn't slow us down at all. But it's kind of interesting. Sadly, the gravity suit doesn't make an appearance in this game. That would be Super Metroid / Zero Mission. I have to double check which came first so that I know what I'm playing next, as I'm playing these in order of release. So, I'm readying my missiles. You do that the same way as you did in the original Metroid. You just press select. But right in front of us there's a Metroid. Something's odd about it though. Yep, Metroid has evolved. Congrats. Would you like to know what typing it is now? It is the type that I dislike. Yeah, 5 missiles will defeat yourselves in I'm losing my ability to speak. Doesn't help that I've had to try and redo this opening so many times. We got missile and energy recharge stations right here. But yeah, that was an Alpha Metroid. They take 5 missiles to defeat, and they're prone to being stun-locked by a volleyball method. Now, Metroid 2 has one thing it shares in common with the original Metroid. You can only have 3 beam shots on screen at any time, and you can have only 1 missile on screen at any time. So, if you really need to fill the screen with shots, you better hope they hit. Especially the missiles. As this is a weird game where, just because you fired a missile and it goes off screen doesn't mean you can fire another one immediately. So, we now just ascend this chasm. Oh. Is it a chasm? It's more just a weird tunnel. Anyway, we're headed back to the right path I showed you at the start. The death fluid has gone down since we defeated a low-bearing Metroid. And anybody who's wondering, yes, by pressing start, you can see how many Metroid you need for the next one. It's not just a specific Metroid, it's a number of them. So, we need to defeat 4 Metroids to destabilize the planet further. Now, the remake, Return of Samus, changes things up a bit. Let's save here quickly and continue on. Yeah, for that, you collect the Metroid's DNA, and then, by returning to, I don't know, a Chozo Gate, you then get you can then progress. I was going to say you then get to progress, and then that just sounded weird. But yes, true to form, the fluid has gone down, and now we see the Mohawk, my least favorite enemy of this game. For reasons such as that. And one thing you'll notice, Samus is prone to the same juggling that she can do to Metroids. Right there was well, yeah, it was an icicle, but it's specifically a rock icicle. You defeat one and they stop spawning. Otherwise, they'll keep spawning until you defeat one. Come on. Oh, and in case I haven't mentioned it yet, every enemy only drops one type of drop. Energy or missiles. It's an either-or situation rather than a sometimes it's one, sometimes it's the other. So yeah, Mohawks, Hornodes, Rock Icicles, Yumbo, and Think Sumaris also only drop energy. And they will continue to only drop energy. Here we have the Mumbo, and the Pancake of Doom known as the Shoot Leech. Shoot Leeches are adorable, but also slightly unpredictable. Sometimes they feel like they go a tiny bit further than they should go. But they're easily defeated by a few beam shots. So, time for something Metroid 2 does a lot. Oh, there's a Needler. But you'll have a lot of backtracking to get through. Like right now, we just went past where the next Death Fluid patch was. And that'll recede after we defeat 4 load-bearing Metroids. But we have to get to said Metroids first. And for that, we have to head up. Going down fights... well, going down leads to 2 fights with Metroids. And now we have our pit enemies. Which, in this case, they're the Garon. They'll stop spawning if they drop a prop. Or if you defeat enough of them. Yeah, we don't have infinite spawning ones. A little chime will play once you defeated enough of them. Yep, there we go. So if you're full up on energy, because Aurochs, like every enemy, are subject to the same only one drop rule. So there's no reason to take all of them out. But if you want to be safe, just take them all out. It gets easier with the Ice Beam. Ah, that's a goal leg. They're irritating as they just spin around in a circle. And now we have another save station. Well, let's continue. Now, going down leads us to a few power-ups. Heading up will send us to a different set of power-ups. Namely, going down will get us something we need, and heading up... well, heading up leads nowhere, really. And to show that, yeah, it's the end. I thought we were in a different hallway, but going all the way down, we can quickly grab ourselves a nice power-up. And this room should look familiar to anybody who's seen Metroid 1. Yep. 5-missile door leading us to a Chozo power statue, where we get ourselves the bombs. This is also the first game that, well, name the items you got. Some items, I think, don't have their names shown, and that could just be an oversight, but who knows. We also just grabbed our first missile tank upgrade, which increases our total missile capacity by 5. And, well, in doing so, gives us 5 missiles. So sometimes you will be out of missiles, and that'll help, but you'll never retrieve full missiles until you get to a missile recharge station. And now, we have the wall fire. One shot and they're done and you can walk on them. But we also have this wall that has a hidden path, which, well, we need the power. Not power bombs, those aren't till later. The morph ball bombs. Or, and I should say, not till later in this game. We also just got our first E-tank. Yeah, they're starting us off early with those. So, in the entire first segment, yeah, Area 1 and the landing site, we only have, well, no power-ups to get. This is technically Area 2. Well, technically it's Area 1. You have the surface area, which has an underground segment. But now, I'm skipping over a couple power-ups so we can go back for them and just easily grab everything in one convenient go. So, there's a Metroid shell. Those tell us that there's a Metroid nearby. Going through here, well, this doesn't look like anything, except much like Metroid 1, you have false tile sets. So it's not only just Morph Ball paths now. And what do we get but the Spider Ball? Yep, first appearance of the Spider Ball. A power-up that I both love and hate. I hate it because latching onto specific surfaces with it is confusing. You hold a single direction to keep moving the direction you started moving in.